Hi, I'm Andrew McIntyre, and I'm a planner on GNRC's new transportation and infrastructure team. And today I'm going to be giving you a brief tutorial on a new NAC tool that GNRC developed for the Tennessee Advisory Commission on Intergovernmental Relations, or TASIR's Public Infrastructure Needs Inventory, also known as PINI. This is updated every fiscal year, and the purpose of PINI is to provide the Tennessee state legislature and state agencies with important information about funding needs for infrastructure projects across the state. And for this reason, it's important that we collect the latest information from local governments and other governmental agencies each year. So the full extent of our request with this new database for PINI is to verify the details and status of current projects, to add new projects, to ensure information about funding availability is current for all existing and new projects, and then to add a project note or notes to summarize any edits that you have submitted. So now, to begin, I'm going to show you both how to create an account as well as how to log in. So to create an account, you'll go to this sign up button. And then this is where you'll enter your first and last name. You'll use an email here. We're going to use an example. And then create a password. And then when you're done creating your account, hit submit. And it'll show you that your account has been registered. And to then log in, hit the back to all projects button. And so that'll bring you back to the all projects button. Now that you have a login and password, you'll enter that into the fields. And then if you want your password and email to be remembered, you can hit remember me. And then once both are entered in, you can hit sign in. This will bring you to the main login page with the all projects. And then to finish creating your account, go to my account. And when you see your account details here, just the name that you entered and then your email is showing. So to finish setting up your account, bring your cursor here to update details. And this is where you'll enter in your title. So say planner. Then you'll select your organization, your entity. So as an example, I'm going to use Williamson County. I type that in, it pops up, and then I click that. And then you can also enter in a phone number, but you only need to have for sure an email and then your name. But we'd also like you to put in your organization, your entity, so that you're able to filter projects by your specific entity. When you're done with all of this, you'll then hit submit. And then drag your cursor up and hit this X. And also helpful to know, if you'd like to change your password, you can hover your cursor over this change password button, click that, and then enter in the new password. And then confirm that password by entering it again. When you're done with that second part, hit submit, and your password will be changed, and then hit X. And then to see your specific projects, you can go to the My Projects tab. And this will show all of your projects by Williamson County. But I'll go into more detail, the My Projects tab, slightly further along in this video. Some other helpful tabs, the resources button here will show you information about TASIR, about the PINI process. It'll link you to the PINI database from TASIR, and then also show some GNRC resources like the Regional Transportation Plan, more of a long-range outlook, and then more of a short-term transportation improvement program or tip to look at projects that are underway, transportation projects. I'm going to also go over the My Projects tab. And this will only show projects from your organization, in this case, Williamson County, that you selected when you created your account. So to find these projects, I'll need to use the All Projects tab, which I'll next show you. Note that the My Projects tab will only show projects which are associated with the organization you choose when you create your account. There will be cases where you may want to review other projects in your area. For instance, in my case, I chose Williamson County for this example, but there may be other projects in the area that I have information on, such as Franklin. So to find these projects, I'll need to use the All Projects tab, which I'll next show you. So the All Projects tab, this is where you will filter your searches, edit existing projects, and it's important to query the search that you're looking for so that you find your specific projects. So two features here, you can search by keyword. If we wanted to search, like, say, city within Franklin, or within Williamson County, we'd do Franklin. And that'll show projects, Franklin projects within Williamson County. Excuse me, that'll show all projects regardless of if they're in Williamson County. So they'll show projects, whatever you search by. And then you can export the data by these different fields. I'd recommend the CSV into an Excel format. There's also the Add Filters tool. This is an important way to query your searches. And so you can search by say, county. So in this case, Williamson County. You can add a feature such as fiscal year end. In this case, we're going to do 2025. And then it's important to note when you're searching, you can do multiple filters, but if you're searching multiple filters, you can only search either and or. You can never search an or an and. It has to be one or the other. So we're going to remove this and then submit. And then here are your projects. First, we're going to reset Franklin County. And then this is filtering by Williamson, and then fiscal year is 2025. So that's what it's sorting by. You can also view my projects, and that'll bring you to the My Projects tab. I showed the keyword search tool, and then also a way to sort. Say you wanted to search by stage of project, you would just hit this column here, and this shows canceled projects, shows planning and design, etc. There's also the fiscal year start and end. And then as far as adding projects, you go back to all projects. And then to add projects, go to the Add Project button over here on the left. Click the Add Project button. And as an example, we're going to use the Nolensville Recreation Complex splash pad. So I'm going to enter in the details for this test example. Nolensville Recreation splash pad. You also need to enter in a project description. After that, you have to put whether it's a public infrastructure project. And in this case, this is not a public infrastructure project. As well as is this included in a capital improvement program? This project is not. Where the project is needed is the address or approximate location. So in this case, we have the address. And this is in Williamson County. And then Nolensville. The project sponsor is Williamson County in this instance. And they're also the owner. Since it is the county, the owner's level of government is county government. Where the project is located in terms of city boundaries, this is in the city. The project type, this is a recreation project. And then primary reason for this project, there can be more than one. So this is both for community enhancement as well as public health or safety. The current status, we need to enter that in. It's currently in planning and design. And then we need the fiscal start and end years of the project. This project is started in 2023. and is expected to wrap up in 2025. And then we enter in the total cost. So in this case, it's 1,500,000. Note that I didn't put the dollar sign. If you put the dollar sign, you won't be able to submit the project. And then I'm also putting in 1,500,000 because there are currently not sufficient funds available to complete this project. So if that's a yes, there's sufficient funds. You do not need to fill out this specific form here, 18E. Once you're done with that question, you'll enter in your contact, and in this case, I'm putting my name. And you also want to put in your title. I'm going to put planner. And since we're using Williamson County as an example, I'm going to put Williamson County. And then I'm also going to scroll back up to the top and show test. I'm putting test to show that this is not a real project that we're going through. I'm putting test because this is just an example project. And then you hit submit. And we were successful, so you'll X out of this form. And that describes how you add a project. So now if we wanted to find this project, we can search it by keyword and search Nolensville splash recreation complex splash pad. Search. And here we see this is the project we just created. Note that it says under partner status new project because it was just added. So to go through and edit an existing project, such as the one we just submitted, go to this magnifying glass. You'll see all of your project details that you entered in. Scroll through this, you'll see everything that was entered. To make any changes, go to update project details. And then you'll be able to edit any of the information that you previously submitted, and then scroll down. Note that for questions like project status, size, final cost, etc., only needs to be done if the project is complete. Then here's all our contact information. Then anytime you make updates, note that it will no longer be a new project. So if, say, I changed my name, my title was wrong, or I made an edit, say I'm an associate planner, or say this was actually yes, even though it's no, you would go down here, you would say reviewed updates, or if nothing else was done, you do review no updates. So in this case, the title was changed. So reviewed updates, hit submit, and your information will be updated. Exit out of this form. Two other features that we need you to complete under edit projects. First is the add funding table. So here you see, you click add funding row. And for this Nolensville splash pad funding entity, it's county funds. This is from the county general funds. Its current status. Say, for example, this has been potential funds that have been formally requested. And then the amount of this ask for the recreational complex is 1,500,000. So we're going to put that in. Make sure to not put the dollar sign or it won't work. Then hit submit. This will update your funding. You'll see your potential funding updated. And then anytime you make changes after your initial submission of the adding the project, hit add note. And then type of note. This would be, in this case, an activity log. So say that the project details were updated. And then I'm going to tag my name. This was submitted by me, but ideally tag any team members who helped out or that may be interested in this project. Then hit submit. And then you will be all set. So your project notes, funding availability, and update details will all appear. If you go to the project notes tab right here, this is where your project notes will appear. I'm going to try loading that one more time. Here's the note that we just added in. So if we click the magnifying glass, we can see the note. And here is the project notes. So that covers both the All Projects tab, how to add a project, as well as how to make any edits to existing projects. So to conclude, I first want to go back over the asks of what we're hoping to gather from you with this new knack tool. So first, we want to verify the details and status of your current projects. We want you to add new projects. We'd like you to ensure the information about funding availability is current for all of your existing projects. And then finally, we'd like you to add a project note to summarize any edits that you've submitted. So I lastly want to thank you for your time and really appreciate you listening to this video and participating in this process that we think will be much more effective moving forward for our TASR's PINI inventory.